Just get Bailey's presentation up.
All right.
Oh,
Hello there.
yeah. Right, hold on. You did share it with me. Let me find it on here. So I can put the link in there. Is Jasmine outside or not? No, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to share screen. And there we go. So can you see that okay, David?
I can.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right, so if this gets in the way, you can move it around the screen. Oh dear me. Sharon's paused. Oh, can you still see that screen or not, David?
I can.
It says it's paused, so I'll just see if this works. Can you see the next slide?
Yes.
You can, right, brilliant. There we go. I'll pass you over to Bailey.
So for my series, which I'm hoping to do, it's going to be on the north and south of England and the divide between them. So going through that, why I talk about it being from the north, it's obviously part of my identity. I live in Newcastle, and all my life, no matter who I've met, whether it's mates, whether it's people in pubs, they've always had that kind of either jokey or serious divide between the south. So I'm trying to go into that more and show people how they're not so different, and it's just really just a myth, and it really is just stereotypes. So it isn't just me. Having a quick look online, there are people that say that the north are grey, uninviting, working class, loud, heavy drinking, and just a bit uncouth. Whereas some southern people believe some northern people believe that the south are just work shy, a little bit soft, don't do any work, whereas us up in the north, we're all hard working. And obviously there's a little jokey map there, which someone's made to kind of show what it is. So obviously from that, the stereotypes are that the north sometimes can be quite poor, and that the south is rich, where that goes from investments, the people, the income, and the services. So maybe if there's programs for some of the youth, or whether there is the actual NHS, there's more sort of investment in them areas. Some sort of people believe that the northern people seem to be a bit aggressive, but I think that kind of comes from the accent a bit more. Not necessarily that we are aggressive, I don't think we are. And we seem to think that southern people are very ignorant and not very nice people, very big-headed. So that's something else I want to kind of break down. And the north is a dirty area. I will give it, there is some dirty areas of here, but I think there is in the south as well. And the south, we seem to think is a very clean place and there's no problems there, which I think is what gives the northern people the problems with it, is we think that they've got all the investment, they've got everything, and we've got nothing in return. And then also the north, again, we think it's neglected, whereas we think the southern people are getting all that investment, and that the southern people think we are poor for a reason. It's not that we're not hard workers, it's the fact that we're just a poor nation, we don't want to work. So my series is quite similar to a series that's been made before, but it's going to have 4 families, 2 from the north, 2 from the south. One of each will have high and low income. Episode 1 will be from a northern family who are on a low income. They will go down south and see a family in the south who have a low income, and vice versa. So the south will also go up to the north to see what their lifestyle is like, see if it's any similar, see if it's any different. Episode 2 will be the north high income family will go down south, and then the south family will go up north to see how their lives differ. And then episode 3 will kind of tie it all off, where the low income family from the north will go to see the high income family in the south to see how much their life differs. And then the low income from the south will see the high income from the north. I'm getting myself confused there. So we can kind of see how similar we are in them social grids, but also we can see how different we are. So maybe if someone who's on a low income in the south compared to up north, you actually get a much better area. It's a nicer place to live just because of them differences in price. So hopefully the length and layout is going to be around 55 minutes. So I want the first 5 minutes to be the 2 families just coming on and introducing themselves, saying where they're from and the area that they're from. Then the 2 families I want it to kind of play interlocked. So it will go from one family to the next, to the next, to the next. So it's not just one big block, it's like all interlinked. So the 2 families will travel and then they'll be given their initial ideas, whether they're travelling by train. We'll just get a quick recording of what they think it's going to be like, what they expect. Then the two families will go and look at each other's houses, and obviously one will play and then one will play straight after, so we can see a quick side-by-side comparison. After that, the family will take the guests to show them around the local area, because not only do I want them to see the houses, I want them to see that the area is different, because breaking that side down from where southern people seem to think that it's very dirty up here, we have got some lovely places, and vice versa. I want them to see that down in the south there are some nice places, but also there are some bad places. Then after all of that's done, that should equal around 40 minutes for them to families showing the houses and the areas. I want to record the feelings after experiencing them and see how they feel about their initial ideas from the start and see if they've changed. And then by using the families from different incomes, we'll obviously see the difference and see how people feel and see if their emotions change depending on what they see. So the budget which I want to kind of go for, I don't really know myself because I have never made something before, but I do know that the travel will be needed paid for, the food, the camera crew, the families to bring them up the show, film permits in case when their families go out and want to show places, if there are other places which need filming permits, we might need them. The editing crew and the pre-production crew, so going back to the film permits, if we do need to shoot somewhere, it's getting the permission and sorting everything out. But the presenters, I want to kind of tie someone in that is from the north, but also from the south. So I've gone with our naughty Ant and Dec. Obviously born in the northeast, currently living in the south. Ant and Dec bring a two-sided opinion, so they can see from the north and see from the south. But also with their presenting, when they were younger, they've presented in Byker Grove. And I want to be able to kind of put that kind of spin on it, so it's aiming at that slightly younger demographic, and also with their careers already well established. I think going into a documentary style TV, it would attract more people, as it's not something they do normally. Normally they're doing I'm a Celebrity or the new game show they've just come out with. So to kind of have a break from game shows, it would kind of bring more people in, I believe. So the simple products that I have is Lad Bible. They've done a north and south video, which consists of people from the north and someone from the south. Differentiation. I can't say it.
Differentiation.
Yeah, finding the differences between them both. So with 150,000 views and over 1,500 comments, we can see that not only are people clicking on it, but they're also discussing it themselves. It's getting people talking. And the one that's most similar to it is Rich Kids Go Skint, which was on Channel 5, and it was rated 6.3 on IMDb and 37 episodes. So it was quite successful. They did make a lot of episodes, but I think that by putting that spin on it, it's not just about, oh, look at this rich kid. It's about actually families and how the lifestyles we all have and how we can actually all come together. It's just, instead of mocking one person or the other, we can actually all come together. So my target audience, as I said before, whether it's in college, uni, or the pub, always find one person who has a serious or joke opinion on the matter. However, I do believe that it would be best suited for 16 to 34-year-olds because, again, I just feel like for people who are going into uni or people who are going around the normal day, I think older people would kind of be like, oh, I'm not interested in that at all, where I think some people are more intrigued by that. I think younger people are more open to ideas and looking to explore new things and ideas. So due to the rich and poor incomes, again, I'll be reaching both sides of the social grade. So if someone's down in London in a rich apartment, they can watch this and think, oh, well, the north actually isn't such a bad idea. I might have a look up there sometime. And in the same way, someone up the north might go, oh, well, actually, the south isn't that bad. I might go down for a holiday one day. Whereas before, they might have thought, oh, I'm not going down there. It's not a nice place. The people are horrible. So the psychographics, going back to the 16, 34-year-olds, I kind of want that to be targeting them more because they're more of a explorer type people, whereas more older people are kind of fixated on what they know, know what they're like, whereas young people are open to more ideas. So I kind of want to target them, so then when they obviously end up growing up, they're more calm when they're going and traveling places across the UK. The channel, I wanted to be on BBC Three, obviously just for the target audience, but then also within the time frame of only 55 minutes, I don't think it'll take that much time in the calendar of broadcasting. So I'm aiming for around 7 to 9 p.m. as it'll fit with the day lives of people coming home from work or college. And I believe that around that time is when most people want to watch it in case there are any explicit things going on. It'll be broadcast as one episode a week to kind of space it out. And then over time, people will slowly gain traction with it. And if it is a success, there is a series that could go on again. So maybe North and South America, because there is obviously a divide there. And then the UK and France, there seems to be a stigma there about French people and UK people not getting on very well. So I'll kind of explore other things as well as just apart from the UK.
Brilliant. Right, let me get out of this and just stop sharing that screen.
Thank you, Bailey. Very good presentation.
There we go.
Brilliant. Sort of stuttering loads there.
Very good presentation. Where did you get that comedy map from that calls everyone in East Anglia inbred farmers? Where on earth did that from?
I think I got from the Quora as well.
Okay.
A lot of that.
So, I mean, obviously, I liked your presentation. I think you mentioned one of your slides. It's not a serious matter, but I think it is. I think it's frequently in the news now, whether it's how the government fails or tries and fails or even understand what levelling up means, how the northern mayors are very upset with how the cash is allocated for northern councils and northern infrastructure projects, how HS2 is not coming to the north as it was meant to be doing, all this kind of stuff. I think it's a very serious matter. So you touched on something that's very important there. There's lots of shows that have been like this similar, though, in terms of how you've developed it, you know, and including families. I mean, Sally might remember there was it's not on the moment, but there was a show they swapped families, didn't they, from different parts of the country?
I loved Wife Swap when that was, I mean, I'm talking Channel 4 in the 90s.
Yeah, there was that. And there was more recently, there was Home from Home, I think, and there's been Council House Swap. There's been a fair number like this. Is this really your idea, Bailey? Is this about class and income, or is this about the North and South? Because actually, during your presentation, I thought that was a little bit muddled. Are you focusing on North and South and what it's like to live and be in a different part of the country, or are you focusing on income? Because they're two separate issues.
So I don't know if I can, but I want to kind of focus on both at the same time. So whether it's looking at the North and South here, I want to kind of show people that although the incomes are different and you might be different in class, that if you are low in the UK, so for example, I know someone who's on a low income, but yet they just in their idea, in their head, it's just constantly, no, the South is just so much better. They're getting everything. There's no poverty or anything in the South. They just are fixated that it's just us at the North. It's just that. So I kind of want to show that it is the same in the South, although it's hidden quite well. I want to show that it is different and it's not just the fact of the North and South, but it is the North and South, sorry, but there is that difference as well.
Okay, no, it's a good answer, and I think you're right, and I think you could do both as long as you can.
Yeah,
you might have to kind of express it a little differently in the pitch because it looked a little muddled on the page where you did it in terms of you got confused when you were talking about it, and the North and the low and the South and the high, and then we'll move here. So you might want to clarify that a bit more clearly if you're going to do it again. But if you look down south, you look at where the horrible Grenfell fire happened. I mean, that area was a badly maintained council flat. In the next street were one of the most expensive properties in the country, and you can see the difference even in London. So you're right, it is a myth. All this kind of, it's only poor in north and only rich in the south. How do you tell this story online? You focus very much on it's going to be in BBC Three, and I like how you pitched this, and it's the right time slot you pick for it. But how do you tell this story online to an online audience?
So do you mean like promoting?
Yeah, or even using actively as part of the program, because most shows like this now would have some kind of online interactive element attached to it as well. So it's not just the program, it might have stuff attached to Instagram or Facebook account. How would you kind of keep interest in the program going online?
So maybe we could do polls online, whether that's through certain influencers or certain news outlets. If we could do polls, maybe what's your opinion on the South? What's your opinion on the North? Or what do you think is the worst problem in the North at the moment? And then we can explore them ideas, and maybe when the presenters are on, they can ask these certain questions to the families themselves. I don't think it's mostly about just the families houses, it's mainly the areas as well. So that's kind of the main part that I want to focus on more. So yes, they can look around the houses and say that, oh, we are the same, but it's also the fact of the area. We're not different, we are the same. So it's kind of like, if we can do polls to ask people from the south, say, they might say, well, is there actually anywhere nice up the north? And then they can go, well, yeah, look, there's lovely places here. So it's doing that and kind of keeping people interested. And then if people say, oh, I want to say this, we can do another episode, the next episode, where we can do the other bits. So what did you like in that? Did you like anything? Did you not like anything? Did you like family? Who did you not like? So then we can kind of explore different characters in that.
Okay, that's something to explore, because actually, you said there's been plenty of shows where people do swap families and just live in the house, and it's how you make your idea distinctive from those kind of programs. But no, that you delivered it very well, and it was a very well done presentation. So well done.
Brilliant.
Yeah. What did you make about Ant and Dec presenting, David?
Yeah, well, I forgot to mention that. How are you going to persuade Ant and Dec on their no doubt multi-million ITV contract to come and do a quick documentary for BBC Three?
I'm hoping that just because it's from the north and it has got the north involved, obviously if it does become a success and we do get another series done, whether that's in America or if it is in the UK and France, I would want a different set of presenters. But for the north and south, I think they would be very obliged to do, just from looking at them and what they sometimes say online, or they're very passionate about the north, and I think they would understand about what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to tell, being that they have lived in both areas and they've probably seen both sides of both areas.
I think your reasoning behind why they're a good idea to do it is sound, because obviously they have come from both experiences, if you like. But I think you'd struggle in a budget to get them attached to it, and also you'd struggle with all their filming commitments of, filming in Australia in the jungle, and they're doing prime time Saturday night slots to actually get this done, because then you'd have operating a very finite time to book them, and they'd probably be way too expensive. So I think you'd probably be looking at finding other people, but seeing if you can find. But I think your reasoning about why you'd use them is spot on.
Yeah.
And I think, if they had no commitments and they were suddenly stacked by ITV, I think they'd really go for it. But I think it's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah.
Probably more to their agent than anything else.
I know I immediately thought you were going to say Jordan North, because he seems to be, he's one I'm a celebrity, he's on radio, he's kind of northern. Yeah. He'd be quite good appealing to the younger demographic. Yeah.
You got to think of budget when this, and when you go for the big name presenters, they're going to cost a fortune, and it'll blow your budget out. You'll have no money for hotels for the crew or anything. And so it's always thinking about, but your reasoning about why they will be good at sound, it's finding then the lesser well-known people, as Sally just mentioned, who would fit that kind of bill.
Yeah.
No, it was really nice. We were very different to the other pictures we've heard today as well, which is nice. Thank you very much. You're done.
Thank you very much.